President Trump, he is not backing down at all on his stance with North Korea. In fact, he's standing taller. He says that the U.S.'s military plan is now locked and loaded. But there is a new report that the U.S. and North Korea have been actually in quiet talks through diplomatic back channels. This, as I guess on the surface, tensions appear to continue to rise. So the AP is reporting that two diplomats, U.S.'s Joseph Yoon and North Korea's Pak Song-il, these two negotiated Otto Warmbier's release. He was the student from Ohio who was held for many, many months. Yeah, he negotiated the release. They handed him back basically dead. But it appears the talks have done little to ease the growing tensions. Who knows, though? Back channel. We are awaiting the president. Can we take the shot right now? Bedminster Country Club, no live at the moment. They allow the cameras to turn on the minute before the president is about to appear. But we've got chief diplomats, UN Ambassador Nikki Haley and Secretary of State Rex Tillerson. They're at the summer White House this afternoon. They're obviously talking about North Korea and the ramp up. Could it be that this terrifying battle of words, well, it's frightened some people, not everybody, but will it eventually work itself out without a catastrophic war? Let's bring in Fox News strategic analyst Lieutenant Colonel Ralph Peters, who's been part of back channels, I'm sure, because you served as in the Foreign Service, certainly, watching the Soviets back then, etc. But forgive me if we interrupt you, because the minute we see the president coming, Colonel, we'll interrupt. But give us your sense of whether the back channels you would think are working, or is it the Guam attack that we're now keeping our eye on?
Yeah, Liz, I do have to correct. While much of my service was foreign, I was never in the Foreign Service.
I apologize.
That's okay. I was a foreign area officer. It's confusing.
Foreign officer, okay.
But look, of course, if we could get a negotiated solution, not just a temporary pause, but a negotiated solution to the North Korean missile and nuclear development programs, that would be better for everybody. Naturally, it would even be better for North Korea if North Korea had the sense to see it. But you have to be skeptical on two counts. First of all, because North Korea has not been a reliable partner in the past, to say the least. And secondly, because, no matter who's president, we are lousy negotiators. We cave on the wrong issues. We don't think long term. We get beat up on the details. And whether it's with Iran or previous deals with North Korea, we've lost out on most of these negotiated settlements. So any deal with North Korea would have to include not just freezing, but dismantling their programs and rigorous inspections. And it's really hard to see North Korea agreeing to that. But, hey, we can always hope. But while you're hoping, prepare for the worst.
Well, I think this guy, and this is no breaking news, is totally insane. And when he says they actually have a firm and detailed plan to send 4 rockets all around the Pacific, around Guam, you've got to take him at his word. Otherwise, we just look dumb. And the president is taking him at his word, it seems. And you know General McInerney, right? I mean, he was on our show just a couple of days ago. Let you hear what he said. Sounds a lot like what you're saying.
Now, what I would tell him is, Mr. Kim Jong-un, if one round of artillery goes into Seoul, Korea, you will get our full nuclear retaliatory capability. There will not be a city left in North Korea. You will be finished. Read my lips.
He said Seoul, South Korea. Does Guam count? Guam is a U.S. territory. An attack on Guam is like an attack on any state in America.
Yeah, I mean, Guam is U.S. soil, no question about it. And so, first of all, on the Kim Jong-un's threat to launch 4, or his military's threat to launch 4 missiles toward Guam, it may well happen. But it also might not, because China is getting worried now. And they're not worried about us so much as they don't want North Korea's nuclear program stopped. And they're afraid that this is moving so fast that we might actually do something. So I'm sure that right now the Chinese are saying, don't do this. Wait, be patient. Don't antagonize the Americans further. Just keep your programs going. Now, if they do launch the missiles at Guam, if they're just headed, we can track them very early on. We know what trajectories they're on. If they're not going to be a threat to Guam, you just let them go. You actually learn a lot more from when they're coming down out of space toward their target, usually breaking up in the North Korean case. Yeah. We learn more about their capabilities than we would by shooting them down. But, Liz, if one missile or fragment thereof lands on Guam, we should immediately retaliate militarily. I know people are going to say, oh, that's hysterical. No, an attack on United States soil, that is the ultimate red line.